So, the WWE has put out a top 50 greatest tag teams of all times. Now, we probably had a top 50, or maybe a top 25, or even a top 20, top 10 list prior, but it maybe has jogged our memories, because WWE has, they kind of like to do that, kind of when it's already in the past and you forget about it, bring out another new list. So even if we had a top 10 before, or a top 20, that top 10 might be different than this top 10 for the top 50. You follow? And these lists, you always take them for a grain of salt. And it's usually to push a narrative or to push an agenda on what they're looking to do. And who puts these lists? It's not the agents in the back that wrestled for many years and that's the only thing that they ever known in their life. It's put together by, the media team, kids out of college, maybe never even watched WWE, out of college, 21 years, maybe never even heard of Hulk Hogan, because it's way past their concept of knowing wrestling, or maybe they don't even like wrestling, coming while accepting this job. So there are many factors that go into it. But the New Day has been ranked the greatest team in a list of top 50 tag teams. So let's run through it real quick. You have the New Day at number 1, Hardy Boys, number 2, Hart Foundation, number 3, Edge and Christian, 4, Dudley Boys, 5, Legion of Doom, 6, Usos, 7, New Age Outlaws, 8. Okay. But then you have the Brothers of Destruction at number 9. They weren't a tag team that was a tag team per se. For a long period of time. They were a tag team for only a stretch of a period of a time. A stretch. A minuscule. A millisecond. And they're in top 9. More often than not, they were feuding as opposed to wrestling together. If you were a DIY fan, well, guess what? They're number 38. Number 38 on WWE's top 50 tag teams of all time. A team that's never even broke the main roster, quote unquote, on either Raw or SmackDown. The Quebecers, who are here for a cup of coffee, are number 48. Kane and X-Pac, number 44, beat out the Head Shrinkers and the Strike Force. Strike Force, number 46. Strike Force, I'm guaranteed that whoever put Strike Force in there probably had to do a Google search of tag teams, because Strike Force is so long distant in the past, and that's why you're going to have it up there so high. Strike Force, come on. Better team than Batista and Ric Flair. How long were they a tag team? 3 or 4 months, and they're ranked the greatest tag teams. A lot of these tag teams here on these lists were kind of put together and eventually feuded with each other. Rated RKO, greatest tag team, 40. See, the main problem, if I were, I know we're supposed to kind of put our, suspension of disbelief here. But if they're the greatest tag team, they had something what is called a Freebird rule. Where the tag team title was basically held, between 3 people in a sense. 1 week it could have been Big E and Kofi. And then the following week, it could have been Kofi and Creed wrestling with Big E on the outside. So There are a lot of combinations of this team. The Freebird rule. And what? They're multi-tag team champions, but does constituting being a champion losing the belt quickly thereafter? Nah, I just don't see it. I don't see how New Day is the number one tag team of all time. It was never even the same two guys. It was alternated, and they haven't had the longest of title reigns. In actuality, they're fan favorites. What is the New Day? You got to give them that. But in actuality, they're so in and out of who's wrestling who. It's gotten confusing, and it's kind of hard to follow if you're new to wrestling with New Day. Believe it or not, Bludgeon Brothers has also made it at number 31. Number 30, number 1, greatest tag team of all time. New Day. I just don't see it. You need to have a stable 1-2. But it would always alternate. And like I said, with that being said, you don't even have a team like the Freebirds on this list. How do you leave off the Freebirds but put in Too Cool on this list? So it's all subjective. It's all what one person has seen prior. So you take these lists and you look at them with a grain of salt. And don't get too bothered by them.